Hello and welcome to today's live trading London session with Harmonic pitchforks. I hope you're all doing well today. Let's start sharing the screen. So I've got some of the ones I've just been on Chance's session on Go Live. He was looking at AUD-CAD, AJ, AN, EU, UCAD and GU. So that's Australian dollar, Canadian dollar, Australian dollar, Japanese yen, Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, Euro, USD, USD, Canadian dollar, and GBP, USD. So let's see what happened with these. So that has gone, we're just after the hour. So he had that one for a sell, but it's gone up to test that pitchfork, the break and the retest of the pitchfork, and there's the 15 line. So that is, so you can see all that stall out and break and retest running along the 62 and the pitchfork. And then it gave you a, it was 20 pips. So that's actually quite a big move on quite a slow pair. But it is setting up again, but it is above the 62. So I wouldn't necessarily, how many would that be off the pitchfork? That's 8 pips, which is quite a way down. So up to you. I'm not going to get in on that one, but well, I could take it on demo just to see. So at the moment that's 95401, and then 301 would be 10 pips away for stop profit in. It's a little bit off the pitchfork. But it is above that 62 at the moment, that's all. So has it finished its move? And is it now just going to play around in there? So let's have a bit of fun this morning and see what happens with things. So where's my, there it is up there, AUD-CAD, new order, sell, and I'll put the, modify the order, 095410, settings, 410, see if it comes down again, 955501, 955501, 0.955501 for your stop. 501, 5501 for your stop loss. And you just pull that over here if you're on MT4. So let's move the other ones over. He had AJ. He had AN. Can't see AN on this list. There it is. EU. And UCAD. Oh, I've got that up there already. So on a Monday and Thursday, I do this session at 8 AM UK time, and Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 9 AM UK time because of Chance on channel 20. Right, so that's working its way down. I'll put an alert on for stop profit in at 10 pips.
Então, mas foste. Pois, mas isso. Pois.
That's it. Oh, something in the chat. Morning. Hello, hello everyone. Hello. And happy birthday to someone on the call. So that's all CAD. AJ next. Did I have that one up? No, I didn't. So the important thing with this strategy is that you do follow the rules. It's a very precise strategy, and you don't want to be doing things like moving your stop loss and muddling yourself up, because we just don't work like that, and that's not the way to be able to learn and compound the account. So AJ's done that big move right up outside the extensions. I haven't looked this morning to see if there are any more new scans actually. I'm just working off the ones from Sunday night and yesterday. So we had on AJ, we've had a pitchfork touch. There's quarter theory, all the gaps widening on that. It's come up to test the 15-minute. So there's our downward trend there. And that must be that's the hourly fake out up to there. So I think it's kind of done its move, hasn't it? Because when was he on 9? Yeah, that's what he was looking at, that drop. So it did that, broken and retested that 1 minute. But it's not, I can't really see his setup on that, because I wasn't on the first bit of his call, unless he's using a different pitchfork, because that doesn't, the orange is crossed below the blue, so that's a sell. It's rejected off the pitchfork. Maybe he was expecting a break and a retest there, but he wouldn't normally get in where you've got a gap like that between the pitchfork and the quarter theory of only 12 pips. So unless he was using a different pitchfork, I can't see what he was seeing there. Because to me, there's that was more of a setup where it's if it was up here for a drop. So I'm not going to mark up anything on AJ. The next one was AN. Very similar pair, obviously, Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar. I can't have the same pitchforks as him because, again, I've got nothing on this one. So let me just check on the object tree. So I haven't got anything on that one either. And that is a slow pair as well. No, I've got no pitchfork, so he must be working off a different pitchfork. So I'm not going to do anything on that one. EU. So EU, we've got the 62 telling us it's selling, and you can see the drop down. It's below the 15 minute. It's rejected off the pitchfork, off the quarter theory. I had that alert from the other day, looking for it to sell down there. And we've just got that downward trend. So I haven't got anything else on this one at the moment. Maybe he was waiting for it to come down here. I should think that's probably what it was. I missed his setup on that one. So if I see what the stop loss looks like. So you'd have to have a slightly bigger stop loss. to cover quarter theory for when it comes down to there. So I'll leave, I think I've got an alert on there. I'll leave the, that's on. So I'll leave that alert set up in there. And then you can, again, I can't see what he's seeing. So there's a pitchfork, that green one there, that's rejected all the way off there. And it's on its way up to quarter theory. There's the outer extensions. Oh, that's a pitchfork above. You see what scan this is in. Oh, I'm going to have to tidy this up. Come out a bit more. So I've got this coming off. I've got two pitchforks there. Bear with while I find out what scan I'm in. So I've got this purple one here. And I can see a green one running across there. So let me just hide that for a minute. And just come back out and see where that pink one. There's that white one, but it's not, that was the most recent one with pitchfork of scan of the 8th of July. But that would be above price starting here. Oh, it's this one, which is the one of the 26th of June. So you can see how that's played out very nicely. That's fine as a scan. Look at that. So that's okay. So we'll use that one. Come down to the 1 minute. So I haven't got anything on this one either. Sorry, I missed a lot of his call this morning, so I didn't see a lot of the setups. I just wrote down because he has a tagged list on the right-hand side of the 4 or 6 that he's looking at. So nothing until it gets up to this point here and turns round or decides what it's doing in New York session. This will move probably again. So it's coming up now, so probably want to come down. So I'll put an alert on here. And just see what it's doing at that point. Oh, pressed the wrong one. Oh, because I must have drawn it the wrong way. That's interesting. I've never done it like that before. It's extended it left. That should do. Okay, that's UCAD, and then GU's gone all the way up there. I did catch that one at the end when he set it up. Theory. So at the moment, it's playing between that quarter theory and that pitchfork there. He had that for a sell, but it hasn't quite done that, has it? you wouldn't want to get in here anyway, because you're between the pitchfork and the quarter theory. So keep an eye on that one, see if it's going to come back round again. Just have a look at the scan. That was from yesterday. So up to quarter theory down there, and that was curling round. So it made a big move up from last week. 50, 100, 150, 200 pips. So now it's come back below the 62. So I think New York session, it might well decide it's going to start coming down. And these are the outer extensions there. I don't know, of course, because it's in a buy scan at the moment. Let me have a look on the, see when that scan was, if you've got this scan. Or was this one where I'd drawn something? Because it's not in that scan. I think this was that second. Oh, it's this one. I had to scan, the green one sat behind the pink, 22nd of June. So it's in that one at the moment. Right, so it is slowly still working its way up, isn't it? So technically, it should still keep coming up. So let me put an alert on that. So it did do the break. This is when Chance was looking at it. He comes on at 9 o'clock my time. And it did that break and retest under the 62, but then at the 10 o'clock candle, it broke back above, and now it is deciding it's going up. So I'll put, oh, I was just going to put an alert there and it's going to trigger it. Get rid of that, not doing that very well. Right, let's see what that does. Because at the moment it's forming a bit of an upward trend, isn't it? Right, let's move on to something else. Okay. Right, GCAD, EN. Let's have a look at EN. Nothing on that. I think I'll put an alert down there because there's a trend line meeting quarter theory and it looks like it's pushing down. That's EN. GCAD. I think this was this shark yesterday, and let's go on the 1 minute. So you've got 75 on the pitchfork leg, so you can take a quarter theory trade. You've got orange above the blue pushing it up for the buy. You've got that, you did have a break and a retest down here, but then it's decided to go for the buy at the moment. That was 16 pips there. And you've got an upward trend. So we're looking for, you don't want to get in like that. So we haven't got, so we've got the orange above the blue for a buy, check 1. We've got price break and retest above quarter theory, check 2. That's 14 pips. And we've got a break and a retest of the 1 minute trend. So that is 3 confirmations for a buy. But at the moment, it's just coming back down to this playing around in there. So we wouldn't want to get in unless it carried on doing that. Or is it going to change its mind? Just tested, just wicked off that 15 minute as a test. Or is it going to change its mind and do that? That's what you're looking for when we look for these break and retests on the 1 minute trend. I think someone said yesterday they weren't quite sure how it worked. So that's how you work. For the sell, you're looking for it to break and retest on the 1 minute trend line, that side of it, and obviously for the buy, for it to stay above it. Let's have a look at GU, got the alarm going off. So now we've got it pushing down below quarter theory. We had that break and retest there below the 62. So just wait for it to come back and give you that break and retest back up to the 1 minute trend or the quarter theory, if it is going for the sell. So let's put that down there. GCAD. Let's see what that's deciding to do. So GCAD, where's that here? GU rather. So that's just set off my alert down there. So it's doing a break and a retest of the 1 minute trend. We haven't got a big break and retest. Oh, we have back there of quarter theory. 12 pips back there. The 62 is pushing it down. So it's so we've got price below the 62 for a sell. That's check 1. We haven't got a break and a retest of the pitchfork. Yes, we have, just about. Let me just have a look at the 107, so that's all right anyway. And if you look at the actual gap, it's probably only about 1 pip. If you measure that to the pitchfork, it's 1 pip, 0.91 pip. So if in a 6.6 trillion a day market, we definitely consider that a touch. Sorry about these lines. So now it's decided it's gone up there. I haven't checked the news actually, I forgot. Nothing today. FOMEC tomorrow. Okay. So we had our break and our retest there. We've got the 1 minute trend, so it's coming up that way now. Deciding it's going up. Unless it's just going to play between these two. So maybe it's going to carry on doing that. So it just set the alarm off, but oh, that's pushing down a bit there. Let's put a trend line on there. I haven't got a brilliant trend line. Try that. And what does our hull tell us? So you know, it's just playing at the moment, isn't it? Between these, that's saying down on the 15 minute. So at the moment, it's just playing between that pitchfork and this quarter theory. It can't really make its mind up. So that may move more in New York, but don't get involved in it while it's just sitting, ranging between these two, because that's just a mess. So that's GU, where the alarm went off. GCAD, looked at GU again. EU, EuroCAD. EuroCAD's in the middle. I haven't got anything till it goes down to that 1.56500. That might move in New York. USD JPY. Now so I can see some pitchforks behind there. So what scan is that in before I highlight them? Looks like that I've got two very similar. So when you've got two similar, you just have to pick one really. And just see which one. I've got a green and a purple. Let's try that green one. That is that one, which, no, that's not that one. It's another green one. I seem to have quite a lot. Just fade that one. That's a down, that's a scan below. Oh, too many lines. Right, let's find. I'll try and pick up that purple one then. See if that's a better one. So it's just wicked off there and there. So which scan is that? If I change that to green. And let me just look and see where that one is. So one of the questions on Chance's session today is, how do you not get muddled up when you've got all this going on? The answer is mostly I fade them all out. So that is from, I can't even see where that one's from. There. So that might be, that's X. I wonder if that was the second. I can't see where the other line is on that one. Oh, I think it's that, is it? D, December. So it's that one. I'm just looking to see where price has touched it. It's missed it a little bit there, just to make sure it's still accurate. There's a touch there. So that's what I'm picking up. I have got other scans, as you can see, in the background at a steeper angle, but I'll use that one. Price has done a big drop down. Let's come back to the 1 minute then. And remember as well, this isn't a London session pair, this is New York, Tokyo. So what have we got going on here? There's your trend. So we've got an upward trend, and if you're looking for a sell, then you want it to do that break and a retest of the trend. We've got the 62 coming down. It's a break. We've had the break and retest off the pitchfork. Again, it's got to get past this. The problem with this one as a setup is I don't like the stop loss that you'd have on this because of the gap between the quarter theory and the pitchfork there. And there's not much of a, you know, I don't like this. So there's 13 pips there. So I don't really like this as a setup anyway. And there's only 8 pips there. So if you came in for a sell on a short position, you wouldn't want to get in till after quarter theory because that's like a brick wall. You've got to then increase that to about 15, and you've only got 8 to 9 pips before it hits that there. So I wouldn't personally like that as a setup myself. I wouldn't want to bother with that one till it moved on a bit. So that's USJPY. That's decided now. It did that break and retest up there. It's gone all the way up to the pitchfork. Let's see what's next. Euro JPY. Nothing on that at the moment. GA, just checking I didn't have that on any of Chance's. GA. I haven't got anything on that. We'll go and look at the scanner in a minute if we run out of pairs to look at. G Chef. I think this is the one where until I haven't got any scans on this. Euro ord. So we've got price below the orange line, which has crossed the blue, so that's a sell. We've got a pitchfork here and quarter theory there. we did have a downward trend, but it's well, what time was that? 2 a.m. your time. So a bit of a spike there. So I think that was the downward trend. There's one there. And then we've got one here. Can't really pick up that many points. So haven't got a lot of points there. Bit of a spike there. And if we put that on there, what's our stop loss? So that is a very fast pair, so 15 pips stop loss anyway. You'd have to increase it a bit because it just doesn't quite cover that pitchfork. Like that. So you do want to take that, you'd have to take that up a bit. And see, sorry about all the lines on this one. So we're looking for it to that and then down. And I'll put an alert on and watch it when it comes through there. So you wouldn't want to get involved in it in between the pitchfork and the quarter theory, because you could get stuck in it. That's why you don't want to get involved in it. It could just decide to range between the two and price not be able to break out. So that's EA. I'll just have a look at what the hull says. So I'm going to look at that at 1.64000. So that's saying red on the 15-minute. That's EA. Come down to the bottom. Canadian dollar CHF. Not sure I've got pitchforks on this. I don't think I've ever had a pitchfork on that. I don't know why I keep it on. I never trade it, obviously, because I've never had a pitchfork. Pretty sure I haven't. Just have a look. Not one pitchfork ever on that. I suppose I could always ask Chance for one. Let's try another one. So I'm pretty sure NZD Chef, I haven't got anything on either. CHF JPY. Okay. So this is a scan from when? Long way back. Chance must have drawn us that one, which is why it hasn't got a pattern on it. May 2019. and you can see it respects it still. Okay, there's touches there. So I think that's okay. And there. And quarter theory, perfect rejections. So it's lining up with quarter theory beautifully. So that's over a year, over 365 days old. So let's come down to the 1 minute. And I'm pretty sure this is a slow moving pair. So that's the 10 o'clock. So I think we've got a slight upward trend, haven't we? Settings. Just look at my sheet. I've got a speed of a 4. So nothing really for us until it comes up to this point here. So we have, it did cross down, but it didn't really, you could see it just slightly dipped down. It crossed here and it's still on its way up. So I'm going to put an alert here. Have a look at that at 114.725. Right, that's that one then. AJ we looked at already. GN we haven't looked at. GN. Don't think I've got anything on this. That's right outside my scans at the moment. That was our latest scan, 16th of July. It's outside of everything else I've got, I think. I haven't got any hidden ones. So the only other thing you can do here, apart from check the scanner, is I'm not sure this will work, but we can try it. So if we get a pitchfork, this is slightly more advanced, just put the first point out, hang on, I've got to take the magnet off. Put the first point out in the middle of nowhere.
There's a scan from the 22nd of July on this one.
Is there? Oh, thanks. Perhaps we're better off looking at that then. Thank you very much. We'll go and do that, I think. We change that to green. Cheers. Settings. I come out of my H1 GN. Okay, so make sure your time zone is the same as your local time zone, bottom right. We've got X 13th of July at 0500, A the 13th at 0800. This is on the hourly. We've got B at 20th at 07. This is my time. Your time will vary. And we've got the C 21st at 9 and D 22nd at 1400. Come over to your, make sure you're on the same time up here and also down here. And then look for your points. So we're looking for the 13th. At 05. So that's let me just check that. Oh, now this is a bit strange because this is one of those ones where you get completely befuddled as to what you're meant to be doing.
My X point is on the 7th of July at
Yeah.
100.
Yeah, thank you for that, because you can't do anything with that, can you?
No, that's 7th of July 0100. That's you.
Yes, I agree, because it's picking up the C point off that scan there. Thank you very much. So grab a pattern shape and start with that. You can put brush marks on, by the way. Use your magnet to show you where you're going to be starting, but and then just click once, because you're holding 5 points on your mouse. The second point is the 13th of July at 08. So that's going to be where that D point is. It's very good if it crosses over because it verifies the scan. 20th at 7, going to be one of these points here. Uh, 21st at 9, so I'm just clicking once every time I find a point, and then 22nd at 1400. So that's there. And let me just come to the settings. I like mine in bright pink. And I like that, like that. So once we've done that, no, we know that that looks right. So it's always highs to lows. Pick up a pitchfork. come back to you with your magnet on, because you must have it exact, and you just want it from X to C to D, and it must be exactly on. And then the fiddly bit, as we know, I put the padlock on, then I don't get stuff glitching, and just come down. So we'll do this, and we'll just have a very quick scoot through the ones we looked at to see where they are before we finish. So that's our D point, which does look like, you can use that little plus sign to magnify it. So it's slightly off, and you do want it on accurately, because if you don't, the angle goes out many pips over a period of time. And if it's on accurately, that's why I can confidently trade the scan, as you saw, that was over a year old, because once they're locked on, they are accurate forever. Well, obviously you have to make sure they haven't glitched like you saw me doing. So just put that on accurately like that. And if you're using the magnet, then you'll find that it does snap on. So that's the D and the C. The B and the A isn't quite so important because there's no pitchfork sitting on it. It's just the pattern, so that looks all right. And then the last 2 points. And I'm going to have to go to the 5 minute. Do as much as you can on the 1 minute, but TradingView will only let you go back 2 weeks. That's the A point. And lastly, the X point, which is going to marry up with that C point there. That's great. And now you want to just check that. I can't quite see it. Yes, it's the pitchfork that matters, not the pattern. So once you've done that, just lock everything on. Just right click and lock. Then there's no danger of it slipping. Come down to the 1 minute, so we can now have a look, see where price is, and make sure I've got everything on. So at the moment we've got the orange above the blue for a buy. We've got it coming above the quarter theory for a buy, but we need to have our pitchfork touch. Got a potentially very nice, this is a very fast pair, so potentially very nice situation there with quarter theory and the pitchfork together. Strong upward trend. It is a fast pair. Oops, I like to anchor that onto something if I can. Got the magnet on. That trend will change anyway once you get into the trade. Let me just put that on green. So I don't want to be looking at that until it comes up to this point here. And then just turn that to pale blue. you're going to want to see it do this. But you want it sorry, I don't want to confuse you. You just take that off, do it the other way. Because of the break and the retest, normally I just put this on very roughly. So you want to see it come up, break and retest the pitchfork, then break and retest that 1 minute trend line and then go. If it carries on, otherwise if it's going to be a sell, it will then turn around at some point and come down like that, in which case you'll be looking for the sell. Okay, so let's finish off just because I'm running out of time. I don't know if anyone's got any questions. That's fine if you have. I'll just save that and let's look at the pairs we've got saved up here. So OrdCAD, that's gone completely the other way. So I'm going to remove that. And where's that heading to? So the orange is coming up above the blue, it's coming above quarter theory, but we've got no this is the outer Fibonacci, so we've got no trade until it's up at this point here, and then you want to see it turn round, come back down. It's a bit of a strange drawing. Like that, possibly. It could carry on up, I don't know. So what I'll do is move my alert up to see what it's doing, because I'd want to cover that. I'll put it here and come back and look at it when it reaches that point. Okay, so that's OrdCAD. So Canadian dollar is a US session pair. So it's not a very fast pair, OrdCAD. I think it's about a 4. So you can see the small volume on the candle, so that will take a while. That is just, that's GU, it's just shot off up there. So there is your break and retest back to the 62 and then go. So that's dead. And in terms of when to look at it next, up here. So let's remove that. And I'll just put an alert along there and to remind me to come back when the phone pings. So that's, and things don't always get to levels. Sometimes, as you know, they fade halfway through, but we have to have a level like this pitchfork and quarter theory in order to operate. What was the gap between those two? It was quite big, wasn't it? 106. So that's fine. You could look at that area there. Or you're looking back. If it's going to fade, you're looking back where the pitchfork and the quarter theory are together, but don't get in until it's past, broken and retested the quarter theory. So that's GU. EJ, I didn't have anything on. Strong downward trend. And I had a gap there, 79. So below the 62, coming below, if it does a break and a retest for quarter theory, you've got to look for 3 confirmations. So we still need to find a third, wait for it to come back to that level if you want to look at that for a trade. So we've got orange cross beneath the blue. That's one confirmation. You need a break and a retest of quarter theory. The second confirmation. I can't put a 1 minute trend on. I could have probably got a channel touch on this. Not that I trade that way. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just not used to doing it. You just have your sort of default positions on your trading, don't you? So I've got touches there, all along there. Let's put that back onto that one. So there's a, so we can create a channel. So if you've got a channel touch, that's a confirmation. So always clone it using the clone, because you need to keep the same angle. So there's a channel there. So a brush mark would be like break and retest and then go, but or we're looking for it to, I'm not sure it's going to come above quarter because it's reaching a quarter theory point. We've got channel touch there, didn't get a channel touch here. That doesn't really count as a channel touch because it's at the wrong end of it, but it does count as the break and the retest. So that would give you sufficient there, I think. That's only 4 points, that's only 5. Might not give you the 10. So something like that for that one. So I'll put a line, down there, I think. Okay, that's EJ. I'll shut that one down. GA still nothing. Not going to bother with that. It's just sitting in between everywhere. Unless there's any new scans come up, that is a fast pair. Nothing, I can't trade that one. G-Chef. Okay, so what's EA doing? We've got it working its way down. And I've got an alert on. I'll put that side of the line, I think, because I'm not interested in it until it's done a break and a retest. Rejecting off the quarter theory working its way up. The orange is pointing upwards. Nothing doing on Chef JPY, which is a slow pair, I'm pretty sure. It will be slow. I don't trade it. Very rare. I don't think I do trade it, actually. Just trying to show you all the pairs. That's the 4. I don't like the way it kind of does all that, and it's slow. So although I quite like OrdCAD, and that's slow, that's the same, 4 out of 10. So I suppose you just kind of, right, that's GN, very fast pair, a strong upward trend. It's broken above quarter theory. We're waiting for it to come up to this level here and see if it's going to carry on up, or start, the 62 will start to curl round. Then we want our break and retest for coming back down. So that's an interesting one. I quite like that one. Keep an eye on that. GCAD, what's that done? That did the break and the, it did the break and the retest, and it's following up there, and that is a 10 out of 10 pair. That's quite a way. So where would I have got in on that? It's off that quarter theory. Oh, that's moving now, EJ. So what you want is for that to come back up to 123.500, break and retest, and then go in for the sell. So don't get in on any buy candles, and don't get in until it's done that. So we could sit and watch that for a moment. And then we'll call it a day, as I'm over time. Three pips away. I think you take that out there. Still got quite a few touches. So I don't know if that's going to come back up, but that's what I would like to wait for on EJ, would be that it does actually come back up and test that quarter theory before before taking it for the sell. So I'm going to move that up there. That's my preference. You can do what you like if you wanted to get in, but you know, it's not really what we should do without a break and a retest. I know sometimes price does run away just straight down. Not a lot you can do about that. So I'll just put that up there. So that's EJ or JPY. Nothing, it's just hugging along the 62 at the moment. That's that's an Asian pair. USD CAD dipped below, might be fading, not doing anything at the moment, might take off in New York. Got it marked up there, but equally it could come down to this level here, which is a point of interest because I do like it when you get these two together. So we could put an alarm down here as well. See if I can just clone that. Put that down, see if it does fade and then go there. So that might move in New York. Euro USD hugging along the 62. It's still pushing it down, the orange. So we're waiting for it to come down to here. That usually moves first hour of London. First hour of London, it dropped 37 pips, and then it usually moves about first hour of New York, not the crossover. So EN, just had an alarm go off. Let me just close that down. I'm trying to get out of things, not. And that doesn't look like it's going to give us a retest, does it, at the moment? AN, nothing on that. I can close that. I think in that one I said I was outside of, what's that one there? Settings. Yes, I'm between scans. I've got nothing on that. And I don't usually trade that pair very much. They're very similar. AN, which is so that is going down nicely. But the problem with that depends on your confidence. But you see, you had 3.4 pip gap. It didn't really do a break and a retest, did it? So how many pips away is it now? 9.4. Well, we'll see. AJ, nothing, just hugging along the 62. Nothing going on there. It's downward trend, orange below the blue. So if it did carry on like that, short position, what does that look like? You wouldn't want to get in until there. It's AJ, so too big a stop loss anyway. Wouldn't like the look of that setup there. So I'm not interested in that. Maybe when it comes down to this point and turns round. So but then you've got, so it's not a very good setup because you've got that sitting right halfway through your take profit zone. So I don't really like the look of that at all for anything. And EN went off, didn't it? So EN and EA is going off. So, okay, orange is coming down, looking like it's going to cross the blue. You've got a pitchfork and quarter theory. So this, I'm not going to stay on much longer because I'm only meant to do these. I only like to do them for an hour at a time. So EN, you want 15 pips. and you want that break and a retest. So you'll have pitchfork touch 1, you'll have the orange coming down to cross the blue in the red box, which would be very, very nice. It's confirmation 2, and you want a break and a retest, and then you've got quarter theory and pitchfork sitting in your stop loss box. So very, very nice setup. So wait for this. I know we didn't get it on the other one, but doesn't mean to say we don't want to get it on our trades. And then get in, but don't get in on the pitchfork. You want to get in at 1.76 flat, okay, after some break and retest. That's what you're looking for. So what I will do is just move this just being slow now, aren't you? I'll move that to there. So that's EN, and then EA. Ah, now that might be coming back round. 11 pips, 10 pips. So that would be very good. If that comes and retests, wait for a green, or you might have red, sell candle on the turn. So after it's wicked on the previous 1 minute and the open of the new candle, okay, that's what you're looking for when you enter on this trade. And I do like the way that 62 is coming down like that. So that looks nice. And then EA went off, didn't that? And then we'll call it a day for our. So what have we got happening here? We're waiting for a break and a retest of quarter theory. It's just broken it there. So just you need a bit more. You want a bit more on it though. So that was your break and retest of the pitchfork, then down, but it's not breaking enough. Okay, so you want it down at that point there and then back up. Okay, so that orange is crossed below, so that's also looking nice, and that's a very fast pair. So you do need to cover that pitchfork. You need to get in very accurately on your quarter theory. The same principle, the open of the sell candle after it's wicked off on the buy candle off quarter theory. So magnify it so you can see it properly. Okay, and GCAD is working its way up there. It decided to do that. So we missed that one. It was a little far off when it did the break and the retest. So that's it for today. So now I'm going to have a look at that up at this point. It's a quite fast pair, very fast pair. I'll see what's happening up at that point, whether it's going to turn round. And it's only about, what, 10 pips away, is it, or something like that? 13 away. Right, okay, I'm going to stop share, just see if there's any messages. Nothing in the chat. So thanks very much for joining. I hope you have a good day. Let me know on your trades how you do, win, lose or break even. Put them into the plumbers trade chat or the Quantum FX. We all like to see them because it helps tell people what we're doing. So thanks very much. I'm going to stop recording.